Kilarigbo Live TV, ìkànnì amúlùdún àkọ́kọ́ tó ń gbé àṣà àti ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Yorùbá lárugẹ.
And of course, our very senior comrade, Barrister Michael Zakume, our cleric, our senior.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mama, most importantly, is our mother and she's mother to all of us. Gentlemen of the press, I thank you so much. A lot of you have been seeing your face here for many years. Some will be seen here for about 15 or more, and I thank you. And I thank those who have organized today's event. And by the grace of God, we shall continue to see much development as we move on. MKO Abiola means so many things to many people. As you all know, he was a very great philanthropist in Nigeria. He was very religious. He holds God first in many things, all of the things that he do. And he was also a business mogul. A lot of us know him very well in business. He created jobs, made so many homes happy. He was a sport enthusiast. He had his Abiola base, and through that, he also made a lot of people happy. And what brought us all here more is his passing, and of course for what he stood for. He was the symbol of our democracy. Our new democracy in Nigeria after the military junta are taking power in the Second Republic. People from different divides, tendencies came together to support him. But remember that that was not his first time to contest for that office. The last time he lost the primary, the second time he won the primary, having gone far and wide. And to show his acceptance, he defeated his very strong rival, Alhaji Bashir Tofa, now late, even at Tofa's polling unit. Not just defeating Tofa, but with a landslide margin, very big margin. And MKO Abiola had won. What was remaining was for the electoral umpire to announce to the people that he had won, as provided by the Constitution of Nigeria. Vote has been collated. Of course, you know, the observers, international observers were here, and all of that. And suddenly, you know what happened? There was an announcement to annul the election. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Nigerians, as you know, came on the street to demand that that result be announced. But I do not want to take your time. We all know a lot of things that had happened. But it's also very good to recount history. And many of the key players that were there, that took part in it, are here also seated. A lot of people will say the history according to how they participate in it and all of that, and according to how they have read it. I know as a student union activist then, the much I know was that I was here when everything was drawing to a very terrible state, especially when he had been killed. And I was privileged to be part of those Islamic clerics that lowered his body. I remember I was standing there. There were lots of crowds. And I remember that some of our students, I think it was 2 students that had serious bodily harm, because we scaled the fence from that side. Operation Sweep was pursuing everybody and all of that. But that has passed. We thank God that the Nigerian government under President Buhari came to bestow on him the highest honor in the land, that's the GCFR, which again confirms that Chief MKO Abiola did win that election. But it is also very painful that we have to lose a life. We have to lose a life along that journey. Because if MKO Abiola had been president of Nigeria, a lot of things would have changed for good. I was telling some journalists that by now Nigeria would have gone far in space exploration, because those are the biggest things that man can be talking about now. We will not be talking about infrastructure. In fact, we'll be talking about contemporary futuristic infrastructure, like you see in Saudi Arabia, you see in Dubai and all whatnot. The issue of power would have been conquered. MKO Abiola, most cardinal saying in his program was to end poverty. And once you end poverty, like Yoruba will say, a lot of things would have happened. MKO loved education. He even had a school, supported so many people to go to school. We did not read that he was born with a silver spoon, but we read that he worked very hard to get to the top and to meet whoever you can think of in this mundane. World leaders were his friends, business leaders were his friends. In fact, if MKO was alive, we won't be talking about Elon Musk. Even he will be old, but his businesses will have grown beyond our comprehension. He was not only killed, but his businesses were killed. His businesses were dragged down. So we have to look ahead. And that is what MKO Abiola will want us to do. To move Nigeria ahead to a height where Nigeria will cater for all. And we are happy that one of those that followed MKO around during his politicking is now the president of Nigeria. I saw a picture. You see, there are things that happen unconsciously, but we do not see the future. I saw a picture of MKO, Abacha, and Siwaju was behind, moving with it. And that talks about mentorship. As young people, we need mentors, good mentors, in order to mirror our height and project our future. It's important. MKO was a mentor to many business people. MKO was a mentor to so many youth and politicians. Today, people campaign on the name of MKO in order to win office. Like I said, if MKO was to be alive, he will be very happy to see a Nigeria that can come together for the purpose of the nation's development. If we don't also forget, during the intrigue of the politicking, for MKO to win that ticket in the Just Convention, Asiwaju had to jettison his own ambition to be Senate President. I'm a politician. I am, by the grace of God today, the organizing secretary for the APC. I was the secretary of the June 12 coalition, the pioneering secretary to Dr. Beckford and some people. So I can see both sides. As a politician, if Asiwaju had continued with his quest, the other politicians from other bloccs, tendencies in the same party will rally around him to win. And you know that you cannot have a Senate president from the West and have a president from the West. So they could see the future, because the future of MKO presidency is far greater than any self-aspiration. So Asiwaju moved, MKO came in, and Yaradua should also be thanked. Yaradua Senior, because he was in control of the PDM, and the forces of the PDM also assisted him. They assisted him not because of anything, but because MKO had built relationship, friendship that cannot be thrown aside. For politicians, friendship matters, true friendship. Building bridges across the divide. That is what will help us to go far. I am speaking to the young people, especially if you want to go far in business, have a mentor. If you want to go far in business, build good, healthy relationship with people. If you want to do likewise in any human strata, especially politics, you need to build friendship. So we thank God for what has happened. I will enjoin all Nigerians to support the Asiwaju presidency because he who wears the shoe to know where it pinches. Asiwaju embarked on power, IPP, in 2000. If the constitution of Nigeria and the president as at then had allowed, Lagos State would have been selling electrical energy, not only in Nigeria, but outside of Nigeria. And it would have attracted that foreign currency that we need. So we need to support the presidency. We need to support President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, regardless of whatever. Like he said in his speech today, the judiciary is there. People can go to the judiciary to prove their point. We must not burn the country down before points are proven. We must exhaust all patience, all democratic norms in order to get to that point where everybody will agree on. So I thank you for giving me the mic. I'm happy to see many of our leaders here seated and many of our friends, but we must not also forget our unsung heroes. Many people died on the street in Nigeria. We can't capture all of their names, but we can make them happy if we all do what is best. Leadership are gotten from followership. If we want a good leader, we must have good following. We won't pick them from Mars. We won't pick them from Jupiter. We will pick them from Nigeria. If you want people to move the private sector well, we must invest massively in education. And as well, you have said, he will do that. Because we need the human capital. It is the human capital that can transform a lot of things. You're stepping on pebbles, granite. It is the human capital that brought it from the rock. We have the tarpaulin, very nice, beautiful. We have the granite. It is the human capital. The technology in your hands are a product of human capital. And you can only get it from education. I thank you. The Nigerian youth must seek good education. And we can only assure that by ourselves. Not the soldiers, not the police, but by Nigerians.
Dr. Beko started the June 12 coalition. And of course, I joined thereafter. Well, there have been different angles to it. First is that June 12 election was the freest and fairest election in the Nigerian history. And it was an election where all Nigerians came together regardless of nationality, professional platforms, and all whatnot. Youth, students, women, everybody came together in order to support Chief MKO Abiola to become the president of Nigeria. And to show that MKO Abiola also defeated Alhaji Bashir Tofa in his own polling unit, not just defeating him, but with large margin. And from another angle, June 12 became a watershed in our political history because for people to have voted and the votes were already counting, and from the Situation Room, it had been seen that MKO Abiola had won the elections. International observers also collated their own results, and they saw that Abiola was coasting to victory. And suddenly, there was an announcement that annulled that election, and that was the watershed. And that annulment also unified Nigerians to come out in their large numbers and demand that the result of the election be read out and Chief MKO Abiola be pronounced as the president of Nigeria. The clamor continued for many years until President Buhari now bestowed on Abiola posthumously the highest honor in the Federal Republic that is reserved only for presidents of the country as GCFR. And of course, Chief Gani Fawemi was also honored, and a lot of things emanated from that. But that also pulled Nigeria back, the annulment, because Nigeria as of today, if Abiola had been president, we will not be talking about a lot of infrastructural deficit. that the Buhari administration had improved on, and the President Asiwaju administration, Bola Tinubu, is working to deepen and expand the improvement and all that. If Abiola had been president, we know very well that the health sector would have improved, education would have improved, Nigeria would be in space now for space exploration and so many things. Our dependency on oil would not be the case. Remember that Volkswagen was already assembling vehicles here. There were many assembling plants, tire production plants. Our agriculture was booming, despite the fact that the military had reduced our pace of development. And prices of commodities was also coming down. Immediately people heard that Abiola was winning, rice was coming down, so many things were coming down. Abiola uses human capital as a businessman to attract a lot of investors to the Nigerian economy. They were waiting to participate, but then it happened. Another watershed was the death of Abiola. So that was a big blow. Because I remember as a student of Lagos State University, I was here on this ground and I was part of those who lowered his body into that grave. And some of us were almost killed then by this military team that was put together then, Operation Sweep, I remember. There we had to scale the fence. S.O.B. Agumbiade was president of LASU then. I was a parliament activist. And a lot of things happened. Lessons have been learned. Generations that were born in that particular struggle have also learned a lot of lessons. And those lessons were what galvanized our last election to produce President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, regardless of any material inducement. He didn't use material inducement. He went around the corner from state to state, interest to interest, talking to them, using the charter of the renewed hope to assure them that if you vote for me as president of Nigeria, I am going to create wonders in this country and, of course, make things happen for the benefit of the Nigerian people. And as we can see, things have already started happening. If Abiola was to witness today, especially the last election, he would be happy that the Nigerian people were resolved to making sure that their vote counts. They were resolved to making sure that someone of his kind is voted into office. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was always on this ground when Abiola was aspiring to be president. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was always within that nucleus, discussing on the way forward for Nigeria. So you are now having someone from his rib coming to actualize what he wanted to actualize to become the president of Nigeria, and now carrying on the torch to actualize the programs as encapsulated in the renewed hope that will make education primary objective, build infrastructure, repair the economy, create opportunities, give women chance, give youth chance. Our foreign policy be improved to the extent that Nigeria will benefit immensely from these foreign policies. Our foreign policy will no longer be one-sided. It will now be we talking to the international community from the standpoint of our interest, which is Nigeria first. And we'll be able to blend these interests together for the benefit of Nigerians.
Kilarigbo Live TV, ìkànnì amúlùdún àkọ́kọ́ tó ń gbé àṣà àti ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Yorùbá lárugẹ.